What's up, YouTube? Dax the Leader here, coach of the Montreal Canadiancies, and we are in the playoffs for our first season in the WCBL, being Season 4. And without further ado, let's get right into this thing. Our Round 1 opponent is Asi, coach of the San Antonio Shamans, and his team will pop up right over here. I'll read it out for you. Azzy has got the Kiram B with the Z Crystal, Necrozma, Cobalion, Rabombi, Laurentis Magmortar with the Z Crystal, Mega Aerodactyl, Thunderous Incarnate, Swampert, Delmise, and Sandslash. So I don't think his team has changed since week 8, which is the last time we faced him, and neither has ours. I could be wrong about that. But anyway, last time we faced, we got absolutely smashed by a Sticky Web Rabombi, and I just had nothing to beat his Necrozma. And I looked back on the rest of the games that Asi has played because he took over for like 2 different people. There was a whole bunch of people that owned this team, but I looked back on every game that Asi himself has played, and he really likes setup spam. He really likes webs. He brought webs multiple times, but most of the time he had, like, in pretty much every game, he had, like, hazard setter either, and he, like, led with it most of the time, and then he had one or multiple mons that could just set up and either break or sweep. I think he usually likes to have multiple win cons per game. But what I don't think he's going to be ready for is a hard Trick Room team, which is what we had here. I did a whole bunch of mocks for this game. I wish I could remember with exactly who they were with and how many I did, but you guys know who you are. Shoutouts to you guys. Anyway, let's go right over my team. We've got Prism the Diancie with Stealth Rock, Diamond Storm, Moonblast, and Trick Room. This is my Suicide lead set. The idea is just get up rocks, get up Trick Room, throw off a bunch of Moonblasts, die. It's really not that complicated. Cobalion is the switch into this thing pretty much every time. So that's what Diancie is here to do. Really, really simple task. Next up, we've got the Choice Banded Golurk here. He does not have a single Ghost Resist on his team, so Ice Punch, Earthquake, Hammer Arm, and Shadow Punch is really nice. I actually had Phantom Force before, but I changed it to Hammer Arm because that does the most damage to cure him, as well as, and it actually makes me slower in the Trick Room, and then Phantom Force was just wasting too many turns, and like the damage versus Necrozma is, I think Earthquake actually does more because of Prism Armor. So that's what we've got our Golurk here to do. Most of the time I'm clicking Earthquake, unless I'm predicting something like the Delmise or something in the air to come out, in which case I have super effective coverage for all of it. So that's our Killing Giants, the Golurk. Next up, we have our secondary Trick Room setter, Gyro Ball, Earthquake, Hypnosis, and Trick Room for this Bronzong with an EV spread that is designed to take hits from something like Kyurem or Mega Aerodactyl. It was a specific calc for one of those two, either Earth Power or Crunch. Earth Power from Kyurem, Crunch from Aerodactyl, you know what I mean. Alright. Now, this thing is just supposed to come in, take a hit, tank some stuff, throw off Gyro Balls. Earthquake is so that Magmortar can't come in for free, mostly. And then Trick Room and Hypnosis is for those threats that like to set up, such as the Cobalion, such as the Necrozma, mostly those 2 mons that I can't do a ton of damage versus, but that I can stop from being threats for like a good chunk of the game. So that's ours, the Bronzong. And now we've got a Wish, Scald, Protect, Toxic, Alamamola. This thing has always come, I think. Every time I've brought Bronzong, I've also brought Alamamola. I'm pretty sure about that. Wish, Scald, Protect, Toxic, very, very standard set. In fact, even my EV spread is standard, I'm pretty sure. I ran all the calcs. I didn't need anything other than this. So that's pretty much it for Ocean Eyes, the Almamola. Now we have Surface the Landorus with Earthquake, Stone Edge, U-Turn, and Knockoff. This was my main way of dealing with Delmise, because Delmise is slower than my entire team, so I needed a dedicated check to that, but Landorus also achieves other purposes because it's a Landorus. It's just a great Pokemon. It can wall not like everything, but like a good chunk of stuff. If he doesn't have HP Ice on Cobalion, it's a great check to that. What else? We've got the Mega Aerodactyl that I check really nicely. That's what Stone Edge is for. But I'm mostly here for the Delmise, and that's why I've got Knockoff. U-Turn's good for pivoting, Earthquake, General Stab, Stone Edge for his flyers. The EV spread along with the Yachi Berry allows me to live one Ice Beam from Kyurem, I think. And finally, our primary win con this week is Trick Room, V-Create, Bolt Strike, Energy Ball, Victini. So V-Create in the Trick Room actually makes me faster every time I click it. Shukaberry is so that I can stay in versus threats like Aerodactyl, okay, not Aerodactyl, Swampert. Swampert, unless I drop my speed with the V-Create, I have to take an Earthquake. Actually, all these mons have secondary stabs to hit me. What am I talking about? So, Sandslash needs Earthquake to hit Victini. Kyurem to an extent does. Necrozma for sure does. Cobalion I don't think can get it unless it has, like... whatever. Yeah, Shukaberry makes my life a little bit easier in terms of setting up and sweeping. Energy Balls for that Swampert. Bolt Strike is for Aerodactyl, and I believe just Aerodactyl. And then V-Create hits the rest of his team neutrally, or super effectively. Victory the V-Create, primary win con. So in all my mocks, I won the game with either Victini or even Bronzong potentially in the end game. So that's the idea going into this, and let's hop right into the battle. Alright guys, here we are with the battle. As you can see, he brings the Thundurus, the Aerodactyl, the Ribombee, the Cobalion, the Kyurem, and the Necrozma. I am actually pretty excited to see that Ribombee. That means I think he's actually bringing Sticky Web again. And why wouldn't he, right? It destroyed me last time. But that's actually going to help me out quite a bit. So, as I said in my team builder, I'm going to lead with Diancie 100% of the time. Out it comes right there. And I have no reason to go for Trick Room right away. In fact, I'm just going to get up my Stealth Rock first, because I know that this Diancie can't, this Ribombee can't really touch me, and the only thing that would not be good is if he U-turns turn 1, which he totally could have done actually looking back on it, but I thought he would go for the Sticky Web, so Rocks up, that's awesome, and now I can get the Trick Room up as he goes into Cobalion. This means a free Moonblast, and that does over half, which is awesome, and in fact I'm actually able to live this Iron Head and take out the Cobalion, so that's huge. Necrozma comes out, I'm going to throw off another Moonblast, and that does a huge amount of damage again, 57, putting it in range of basically everything on my team. And now I can just safely bring in Bronzong with this one last turn of Trick Room, go for the Hypnosis, I land it, that works out great for me, and now I can just get the Trick Room right back up. There you go. So, with this Sleeping Necrozma, it's looking like Victini's my safest switch, just in case he did wake up. I think he could have on that turn. But now I can just start going for Recreates, punching things. He's got to sack some mons here. He sacrifices the Ribombee, and with my last turn, I'm going to be able to take out this Aerodactyl with a Bolt Strike. And now, Thundurus is going to come out. He goes for the Dark Pulse as I bring in my Bronzong to get the Trick Room back up, and thankfully, that does really not a lot of damage, actually. So, I can afford to just click Trick Room here, I'm pretty sure. Yep, there you go. Okay, cool. And now, I'm going to switch out into Landorus. because I know I can take very little from a Dark Pulse or predict the Thunderbolt. I didn't think he was going for HP Ice there on a resisted hit, you know what I mean? So I'm able to just take out the Thunderous with the Stone Edge and clean up this game against the Kyurem, but yeah, of course I miss a Stone Edge right there as he gets a substitute up, and that's really scary, so I just have to break this with an Earthquake. I cannot risk missing right there. And I do die to this Ice Beam. Now I'm gonna go into Alomola, wish up my Bronzong, just to make sure that I can take this thing on. So he goes for the Earth Power, doesn't kill, that's good. I go for the Trick Room here, which this is for sure the right play, because I need to keep on breaking this thing sub and being faster than it, as he's forced to go for substitutes here, as I'm going to slowly gain back HP, right? And now, here's his last sub. I have one more Gyro Ball, as he roosts instead of going for the sub. That's a nice play. I mean, he couldn't have done it anyway, so yeah, that worked out. And what's actually going to happen is that I'm out of range of an Earth Power at that point, and I can take him out with the Gyro Ball. Now, like I said, Asi didn't send me his team, so I think that could have been a roll, actually. And like from that point, I'm really not sure what I would have done. So, a bit of a weird endgame, but I think I did prep really well in terms of the kind of team that I brought. So, that works out super nice, and we are in the Evergrande Finals for the WCBL Season 4. I'll see you with my team prep for that game. Alright guys, back in the team builder, we are facing Nada and the Stockton Heatran for not only the second time this season, but I'm recording a video versus this team, or uploading one anyway, I've faced Nada a lot in the past few weeks. I uploaded my CPL game versus her just a few days ago, and I uploaded my WCBL Week 3, I want to say, game versus her just a few days before that. So there's a lot of Nada on my channel recently, but we have to rematch her. Of course we do. This is a terrifying team. She actually made quite a few transactions, and I think a lot of them were specifically for me, so this matchup looked disgusting, actually. I'm gonna read off her team for you guys, even though it's going to pop up on the screen as usual. She still has that Celesteela, the Dugtrio, the Arcanine, the Kyurem. Dugtrio is a Z Crystal holder, by the way. Pangoro, another Z Crystal holder. Licky, Mega Gardevoir, Tangrowth, Rotom Wash, Gliscor, which I don't think she had before, and Muck. I'm not even sure if she... I think it's just Gliscor that she swapped. I think. But anyway, this is the team we're bringing. Yeah, Cobaberry Virizion is a good stop to Rotom, Gliscor, and Dugtrio. I have enough speed to outspeed Gardevoir, and then my moveset is Giga Drain, HP Ice, Calm Mind, Focus Blast. So the special attack EVs, I believe, I think that OHKO's Gliscor with HP Ice unboosted, I want to say, unless it's +1 OHKO Max Spadef Gliscor, or something like that. But I want it to be quite bulky this week, so anyway, cool EV spread. Virizion is one of my win cons this week. Next up, we've got the Landorus, Knockoff Stealth Rock, Earthquake, and Gravity. Nice and standard set. I'm just outspeeding the Rotom. It's the Rotom. Okay. There you go. Yep, Knockoff Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Gravity. This is my only Stealth Rocker that works this game. Earthquake hits her whole team under Gravity. Like, her immunities are Celesteela and Rotom. Those two take super effective damage. And then Gliscor takes neutral. Knockoff is nice to catch Gliscor on the switch, remove its Toxic Orb, and potentially remove leftovers from Rotom and Celesteela. So that's a lure for all those three Pokemon. That's gonna work out really nice. And the Focus Sash actually is a little tech for the Gardevoir, because I really don't have good responses to that on my team. You'll see. I'm going into my next Mon, and this is my only response to Gardevoir right here. Assault Vest Max Spadef Bronzong can take 3 Shadow Balls. That's it. On my 4th switch in, I'm dead. So Gyro Ball, Earthquake, Zen Headbutt, HP Electric is the best 4 coverage moves I could have. I'm only really going to be clicking Gyro Ball though. The purpose of this set is to come in on Gardevoir, click Gyro Ball, that's it. I'm just trying to wear it down, and because I just don't have the speed to be able to deal with Gardevoir on this team actually. Aside from Virizion, Gardevoir is probably the biggest threat versus this team right now, as it stands. Now we have one of our secondary, our other win con. I'd say they're equally important. V-Create, Toxic, U-Turn, Zen Headbutt, Victini with the Shed Shell for Dugtrio. I really wish I could go Choice Scarf this week, but that Dugtrio just makes that impossible. I have to run Shed Shell if I want Victini to do anything. So, V-Create, super spammable. Aside from the Arcanine and the Rotom, which I can all Toxic, and that's why I've got a nice check to the Gliscor in Virizion. Even Bronzong can deal with it pretty well, but I really don't want to get knocked off. I'll try not to do that. And then Zen Headbutt's also nice damage versus Rotom and Arcanine. U-turn to just get out of any sticky situation. And it's looking like Landorus with Gravity Earthquake, this Victini's V-Create, and a really set up Virizion are my only ways of dealing with that Celesteela, which you never want to see, but that's the situation I have to be in just with my draft. I think it's a good draft, I just don't have a good matchup. Next up, we've got Alomomola, Wish, Protect, Toxic, and Scald. Another really standard set. I really wish I could have fit Knockoff onto this set. I put it on Landorus instead. I want to be Toxicking as much as I can, especially that Gardevoir, just to wear it down. I want to be able to come in and force out Arcanine with the Scald after I get Stealth Rock up, because once that thing goes down, Victini can pretty much sweep once I remove everything that's faster than it. It frees up Victini. Victini's more of a breaker this week, actually. I just want to come in and get some massive damage every time I come in. Yeah, come in and claim one. That's probably my favorite type of playstyle, kind of like Volturn. Yeah, just like a little, not a motto, you know what I mean. It's like a little phrase that kind of sums up that that kind of playstyle right there. You summon, use Specs Latios. Okay, this is a bit of a tangent. Hold on. I think that's it for Alomomola, Regen, Leftovers, the works. And finally, we've got Hyper Voice, Flamethrower, Roost, Defog, Altaria with speed for that Pangoro. I think it's Pangoro. Bit of special attack and max HP. Now, this thing is here just for Defog. I can Defog versus Arcanine and Rotom, and I think that's about it. I could have been Return Earthquake to deal with Arcanine and Muck a bit better, but I went with Flamethrower just because I don't have a ton of ways of chipping down Celesteela this game, so that's what I decided to go with, as well as the fact that I can afford to get statused actually with a special set. Like if Rotom Will-O-Wisps me, I don't care at all, so that's really nice. And yeah, because I want to just be bringing in Victini as much as I can this week, I really need a solid defogger, so that's what Altaria is here for. And that should be it. So we're going to hop into our semifinals game versus Nada, see if we can get some nice revenge. So as we can see, she brings the Dugtrio, the Gardevoir, the Pangoro, the Arcanine, the Celesteela, and the Rotom. I'm actually pretty glad not to see the Gliscor. So, and that's about it. The Muck also was a pretty likely bring. And yeah, those are the things I was really afraid of. So I'm not too worried going into this. I know exactly how I have to handle every single month. So what I'm going to do here is lead off with Alomomola, and I'm calcing the damage here, and I really don't think that Rotom can do over like any... I'm not too worried about Rotom's damage right here. So I'm just going to Toxic this thing, because I really want a Toxic off on this thing. That's going to help out Victini so much. As I get tricked, which means my Wish passing is going to be a lot harder to do, but it's not a big deal. See, I don't get to it KO. Works out for me. I have to throw off another Toxic here. I don't want to switch. I'm going to go into Victini and take a big hit from Earthquake. That's annoying. So I really got to be careful bringing this thing in. I can't just bring it in hard on the Celesteela. I kind of should have predicted that, actually. Whatever. So, Arcanine comes out right here. This is a super obvious switch in, and I'm gonna go for the Toxic, a nice little prediction on my part, because I know she wants to keep Celesteela. And now I can safely Mega up my Altaria. I don't care about this Will-O-Wisp at all because I'm a special set, and let me see what her designated switch-in is. It's going to be Gardevoir. Awesome. So, I bet she expected me to just be physical and thinking, oh, burned Altaria, that can't do anything. So she saw it as a free opportunity to Mega Evolve her Gardevoir, throw off an attack. But nope, I was a Hyper Voice. I do a nice and clean over 50% to this Gardevoir, as I can safely bring in my Bronzong, take literally like 14% from the Hyper Voice, and I don't mind throwing off a Gyro Ball here. I know Rotom or Arcanine is coming in. I know it's going to do nothing, but damage is damage, and they're both toxic at this point so early on in the game. That's huge for me. I can just start wearing these things down because their recovery options are not the greatest. I can safely go into Virizion here on anything Rotom wants to do, so that's not going to be a problem for me. Arcanine comes back out. I think I'm just going to go into Aloe here, actually, and force this thing out with a Scald. I can just throw off attacks. Like I said, I don't care how little my attacks do to Rotom or Celesteela. If I get a burn, if I get anything, it's just chipping them down for Victini later in the game. So, Arcanine is almost dead right here. She goes for the Morning Sun, sorry, and now, yeah, I really have no reason to switch out. So I'm gonna actually stay in even. Oh no, I'm not. Never mind. I'm actually expecting the Seed Bomb or even the Z Seed Bomb right here because I calced the Earthquake damage, and this is a max attack Celesteela. So I go hard for Virizion, trying to predict the Z move, but she goes for Flame Charge, which is super scary. I think I'm just going to go back into Alomola with my regen. I'm nice and healthy again, so I can just try to burn this thing. I live at least one Seed Bomb. I feel like if she was Z, she would have gone for it there. And I do get the Scald Burn, which is huge. It helps me a lot. Now I'm going to go into Landorus just to get the Intimidate off as she reveals Facade, which is really annoying. I believe, yeah, I'm going to take this opportunity to get my rocks up. I don't think, yeah, even though she has Facade, she's still -1 attack, so she's not going to be doing that much damage to me. So yeah, with rocks up, I don't see any way to remove them aside from the Rotom, which is pretty low. So that's the play right there, and now I'm just going to go for a knockoff to remove this thing's item, find out if it actually is Z, but I do get crit right there. Let's back that up. I do get crit on this turn, so I don't get the knockoff off. It's not a big deal. I could not have Gravity and an Earthquake to this thing. I couldn't have killed it, so that wasn't a huge deal. And now I make a really stupid play of going into Victini because, like, I guess I took a long time to make this play. So even though she just went for Facade, I forgot that that was stronger than Earthquake. So I calced Earthquake. I saw that I could live it, so I'm like, oh great, I'm forcing out this Steela. But nope. Facade's gonna be able to kill my Victini after she gets the Beast Boost, and yeah, I threw away one of my win cons right there. So now I need Virizion to pull this thing out. I'm gonna go into Altaria because I know that I live 1 and that I can Flamethrower and this thing will go down to the burn afterwards, or at least in range of pretty much any other Mon. But what I should have done, I need to start working on thinking a few turns ahead, because even though she had Flame Charge and like I was trying to save Bronzong's health for Gardevoir, you're going to see she's just going to be able to go into Dugtrio after this Celesteela goes down. and trap my Altaria, which I could have used. I could have healed it back up on either the Rotom or the... Actually, yeah, that play might have lost me the game, as you're going to see later on. You'll see what happens. So, I force out Dugtrio with my Choice Scarfed Alomomola, and I can just pretty safely throw off more Scalds right here, and this thing is looking to be in range of Virizion Giga Drain, but I don't need to go for it. I can still go into Bronzong, just throw off a Gyro Ball. Like I said, I'm just chipping down this Rotom and this Arcanine in any way I can. Now I think is going to be the opportunity for me to start setting up Calm Minds. She actually goes for the Defog, which is the ideal scenario for me. And I'm thinking I can live an Aerial Ace still, not entirely sure. But yeah, she reveals the Scarfed Pangoro right here, which is why I think sacking Altaria was a choke. Because if I healed that up, there's no move except, yeah, there's no move she could have locked herself into to sweep my team. So even though this is a 5-0 victory in Nada's favor, it really is a lot closer than it looked. We both agreed on that. Everyone watching agreed on that. And yeah, my two major misplays were sacking Victini and sacking Altaria. So like, I think I have a lot of prep, a lot of confidence in my prep, and like I'm a top 4 finisher in this league. So I don't know, I'm just kind of reflecting on my ability as a my abilities as a battler as a whole, considering the season's over now, you know what I mean? Oh my god, I gotta stop saying that. I'm so triggered. Okay. Yeah. This was a fun season. I really like the WCBL. I've got so many friends in this league, and I've made new friends through this league. It's just a nice standard tier draft, so I can just like, I don't know, it's a different flavor than the CPL, because the CPL, every team is broken, but this team I really had to think about my draft, I think, a bit more. It's not like, I try to be careful whenever I'm drafting, but this team, I really like the way I drafted. I was #1 in the power rankings when, in the post-draft power rankings, and after I won my week 1 game. A lot of fun mons I got to use for the first time, like Greninja, like Nihilego. None of them came to this game. I've wanted to use Mega Altaria for a while. I've wanted to use Victini for a while. I've even wanted to use Virizion for a while. I'm glad I got to use Landorus again. Landorus was on my first ever draft league team, being CPL Season 2, so I'm glad to use that again. Really versatile mon. But yeah, GG to Nada. I have got to even this score eventually. I'm now 1-3 versus her. But she's going to the Evergrande Finals to take on Justin and his Kentucky Crocodile, so that's going to be a really good game that I'm going to have to catch. It has not happened yet, so I can't spoil it even if I wanted to. But I don't know what else there is to say, really. GG to Nada. GG to everybody I played in the WCBL, and I can't wait for next season, really. If I have time, I'll for sure do it. So, thanks everybody for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like, a retweet, and maybe even subscribe. But until next time, later guys.